Hi guys, welcome back to our channel and another product video. If you are watching this video, that means you are probably a GR Corolla owner or maybe a standard Corolla owner, but you're here because you're not happy with your audio system, and we have the solution for you. This video is geared towards the non-JBL equipped audio systems. So if you do have a JBL equipped Corolla, then click the link in our description. That'll take you over to the JBL systems that we offer, or systems that'll work with the JBL system. So you can check those out and get more information on those. But this right here is, again, for the non-JBL equipped vehicles. So with the non-JBL equipped vehicles, we did have quite a few different options out there. We've had our kits out for a few years now, but we kind of used that time to narrow down what kits worked best, what was the most popular option, and kind of put it together and just have one solid kit for the non-JBL systems. Non-JBL is a lot easier to work around, so there's really no need for a multitude of different system options. So we narrowed it down to this one kit right here, which has been our best selling kit for the non-JBL Corollas. And this kit right here consists of a 5-channel DSP amplifier. So we've got 5 channels of output power, 11 channels of DSP. So again, we have flexibility. We have the ability to add more to this system if you wanted to down the road. And we have our replacement speakers and our subwoofer options. So this, like our JBL system, kits are 100% plug and play. So you will not modify any wires. You will not modify any panels. You're not going to have to drill anything, make any holes. You won't have to do anything to install this kit other than take out your speakers, put these in, run a couple wires, plug the amplifier in, and you are done. Super easy install. This is the easiest system out of all of our systems to install. It's actually one of my favorite systems. 5-channel amplifier systems are kind of like my favorite systems to do, just because it's an all-in-one package. You power your entire system out of one amplifier, and you're going to get very good sound quality out of just that one amp. So for those of you that aren't really familiar with car audio and integrating into a factory system, so give you a little bit of information as to why we use these products and how we do these systems. So in the newer Corollas, changing out the head unit is not an easy thing to do. It's possible, but it's not easy. And if you do it, you will lose some functionality, especially if you have a GR Corolla. So most of you guys want to keep that factory head unit in there. So we need a product that's going to allow us to integrate with that factory head unit and give us good sound quality, the same sound quality that you would expect if you had an aftermarket head unit. Not all amplifiers, not all DSPs are created equal. Not all of them give us that same integration capability that the Audison pieces do. So in this kit, we use the Audison M5.11. So what this allows us to do is we take the audio signal from the factory head unit, we can feed it into this amplifier. And when we created this kit, we've installed these amplifiers into the Corollas and we've built all of our tune files and everything out of the vehicle. So we hook this up. We can see in real time what that audio signal is doing and what kind of peaks and dips and whatnot that it has. We can correct that and fix that to give us a good flat audio signal. And then from there, we can tune the output section of the amplifier, basically what signal is being sent to the speakers and what you're hearing. So we fix it, we correct the signal, then we tune the output signal to give you that complete system. These guys come pre-tuned right out of the box. So it's already calibrated for the head unit. It's already tuned for the speaker kit. It's already tuned to match the acoustics of the Corolla cabin. So you won't have to mess with any tuning settings, gain controls, crossovers. It's all done right here for you. Super easy. So what you also get with the kit would be your replacement speakers. So you're going to get 4 speakers for the front, your 2 6.5-inch mid-bass drivers for the front doors, your 2 tweeters to replace your dash speakers, and then 2 6.5-inch two-way coaxials to replace the rear door speakers, and as well as a subwoofer option. So subwoofers, you do have a few different options that'll work with this kit. You have our Audison 8-inch and our Audison 10-inch. These are our most popular subwoofer options. They are super small in size. They're very slim enclosures. If you decide to just put them in the trunk, they won't take up a lot of space. But they do also have the option to be installed under the trunk floor. So for the GR Corolla, when you lift up that little floor piece, you have that big foam tray. You can cut that foam tray out and these guys will fit in there under the floor. You can put your floor piece back on. We do include a cutout template for the 8 and the 10, so you'll know where to cut, how much to cut in order to fit these guys under the floor. We also do have a little like secret menu item. If you want more bass than what these will do, we can also upgrade you to a bigger subwoofer. You could do a 10 or a 12. Because the subwoofer power is coming right out of this amp, 600 watts at 2 ohm, we have a lot of flexibility for a subwoofer. So we can step you up to something bigger if you want to. The other popular options would be the Hertz MPS 10 and 12. The enclosures are designed exactly like this. They're slim enclosures just like this, but you would have a 10-inch woofer or a 12-inch woofer. Those will not fit under the floor unless you get a little creative, but I haven't cut anything to fit the 12s, so you kind of take that on your own if you want to try to fit under the floor. But we will be able to upgrade you to bigger subwoofer options if you wanted to. Or if you didn't want to buy it with a sub, say you already had a sub that you wanted to use, cool. If it's a 2 ohm woofer, you'll get 600 watts. If you got a 4 ohm woofer, you're going to get about 400 watts. So you have that ability to use your own sub if you already had one. You just buy the amplifier kit with the speaker kit, use your own sub. As far as the installation hardware and the parts that come with these kits, we have all of our wiring harnesses. So we have our main T harness. This will plug in behind your head unit to get that audio signal to feed into the Audison amp. This will plug in there, plug directly into the Audison amplifier. We have our speaker cable that'll run to the rear of the car for your subwoofer. You'll also run that with your main power harness. This power harness here has your fuse holder bracket already installed on the wire, ready to go. There is a spot by the battery in the GR Corolla where this will just bolt directly in. You won't have to make any holes or modify anything. If you have a standard Corolla, it'll be a little different from what you see here, but you'll still be able to get it all installed simply just like this. The wires come pre-terminated, so you already have your ring to go directly to your battery. And we have wire ferrules on the other end that'll allow you to just slide into the connections on the amplifier and screw down. So you don't have to strip any wires and have bare frayed wire trying to put it into your amp. It's all ready to go for you. And then as well as your ground cable. So same deal here, pre-terminated with your ring, wire ferrule, super easy. You'll also have a second or one more cable so you can plug in your multifunction control knob. So this will come with this multifunction knob. We have the knob set up to do presets. So we do include 2 different presets on this amplifier for you to flip through. And then you also have subwoofer volume control right on this knob. So you'll have that flexibility as well. You'll also have the amplifier mounting plate. This mounting plate is what we include with the JBL systems. It'll have a T-nut here to bolt where the factory JBL amplifier bracket is, but because you don't have JBL, you won't really bolt it there. But what we will do is have Velcro on the bottom of the plate to stick down to the carpet, and this will hold it from moving around. It's not going to go anywhere. We have our T-nuts inserted into the plate so that the amplifier will screw right to it. We include the machine screws so that all you do is mount it right down, and it's super simple. We also include zip ties just to make your life a little easier and make your install a little cleaner. We try to give you everything that you need to do this install without any headache or having to run to the store to buy parts. Everything is ready to go for you. As far as the speaker kit, we do use the Morel Maximal 602 HE component set for the front and the Maximal 602 coaxials for the rear. So both 6.5s. The rears are 6.5-inch two-way coaxial, so the tweeter is built onto the middle of the speaker. And then for the front, your tweeters are separate because those will go in the dash. So all of our speakers are installed in our own 3D printed mounts. So these mounts we designed specifically to work with the Corolla. We designed it to have the specific height like the factory speaker does. We also pre-install everything. you get foam gasketing on the front and foam gasketing on the rear. So the foam gasketing on the rear is going to help seal this to the door, so there's no little air leaks between the door and the gasket and the speaker mount. And we also have that gasket there to help insulate and stop some rattle. So when you have hard plastic on hard metal, sometimes you can get some rattle. So you want to have something in there to help insulate it, to stop that rattle from happening. Our mounts are super solid and they're really strong compared to some of the flimsy thin ones that you would order like on Amazon or something. So it's definitely a lot less chance to get any rattle, but we want to give you everything that you need to make this install as clean as possible. The gasketing on the front is going to act just like the factory gasket as well. This will help seal it to the door panel. So when you take your door panel off, when you look where that speaker grill is, there's going to be a plastic ring on there. And that plastic ring is designed to press into this foam gasket. And what that does is it seals the speaker to the door panel. It keeps all of the energy from this speaker firing directly through the door panel and out, rather than leaving a gap and that audio sound, or the sound basically bleeding through those gaps into the door panels, creating more resonance and rattle and whatnot. So we want to keep all that energy firing directly out. That's where this gasket helps seal it to the door. Because we printed this at the same height as the factory speaker, obviously it's going to fit just like factory. Everything will seal just like factory. Your connector is also pressed into the mount. We don't have like just a dangling pigtail. We actually have it pressed in here so that when you do your install, it's going to click right in. It's going to be exactly like factory. It's the same exact orientation as the factory speaker. So it just plugs right in and you're set. On the back side of the speaker, all of our connections here are soldered. We don't use crimp connectors that just lock on here, because a lot of times those things will fail. You'll install your speakers and a week later or a month later, a speaker stops working. And you take it apart and you realize, oh shoot, one of those connectors popped off. All right, well, now I got to put it back on. These are soldered. You're never going to have to worry about that popping off. So you're going to have good solid connection all the way through. So your front speakers and your rear speakers, as far as the doors are concerned, are going to be set up exactly like that. When it comes to the dash speaker, it's going to be set up a little differently. So when you take that factory grill off, your tweeter is actually just pressed into that plastic grill. Now, that's fine for factory. It is a lot harder to take an aftermarket tweeter and just press it into that plastic housing and have it just click right in, because aftermarket tweeters aren't designed like the factory ones with little ears and stuff. We do 3D print some clips to lock them in, but because that orientation is straight up and down and you have the weight of the tweeter just hanging down, we do it a little differently. So we 3D print these mounts. These mounts will bolt into the dash and then your grill will click right over it. So in the JBL equipped Corollas, your mid-range speaker is in the dash and it is bolted to the dash. So we 3D printed a mount to mimic what the mid-range does. We also include the hardware, just like the factory hardware would be. Those will fit into the dash. The screws will bolt this guy in and it'll be bolted in your dash. It's not going to go anywhere. And then we have our 2-pin Molex connector that plugs into our little crossover network, and that will plug directly into the factory speaker plug, and you're all set. We also have a gasket strip on the front of this as well, so that mats up to that dash grill. So again, keep the energy firing out of the grill. So that is how your front speakers will be set up in the non-JBL Corolla. We also include some foam pads. So the dash speaker, we do have a loose pigtail. We don't like to have loose pigtails, but we do have a loose pigtail there. So what we do is we include these foam pads that are basically adhesive backed, and they'll wrap around those connectors and insulate them from rattling around in your dash. So we want to give you all the tools to make your system as successful as possible. All the things that we've seen in our years of doing installs, little things that we can add to make it a little bit better for you. The last thing that's included with the speaker kit is some sound dampening material. So you get a square for each mid-bass driver. So you're gonna get 4 squares of sound dampening. These are meant to install in the door behind the speaker. And what that's gonna do is that's gonna absorb the energy coming out of the back of that speaker. Because the dampening material that we use is a multi-layer material. So it's got a foam top layer, it's got a middle aluminum layer, and then a butyl layer with adhesive. So that foam layer is going to help absorb the energy firing from the back of that speaker, as opposed to a traditional sound dampening material where it's an aluminum top only. It's metal just like your door. It's going to refract energy just like metal does. So we want to absorb that energy. That's why we include these. If you feel like you want to do more sound dampening, you want to do like a traditional sound dampening kit, we do have pre-cut sound dampening kits for the Corollas, hatchback and sedan, that will do front doors, rear doors, inner skin and outer skin. And we'll also have that in the description. You can click that link to check out that video, and you'll be able to see what that sound dampening kit is like. So you can add that on your kit if you wanted to. So that's basically the rundown on this kit here. If you've watched our JBL Corolla kits and you've seen, wow, there's an 8-channel amp, there's a 12-channel amp, there's all kinds of other things for the JBL. We don't get that for the non-JBL. If you do want a more detailed system, if you do want to step up to like those Morel hybrids that you see in the JBL video, or maybe you want to add and do 3-way, you could definitely do that as well. If you want to take it over the top and you want to get the same style system as like what we do for the JBL equipped Corollas, send us a message. We'll work with you on that, and we can get you set up with the right things to get you a even better system than what you're seeing here. But that's something that's not for everybody, especially for the non-JBL guys. So we found that this system has been the perfect sweet spot for 90% of our customers. So I think going this route, you'll definitely be a very happy person with this system here. So if you guys have any questions, drop it in the comments, or you can send us a message at info@plugandplayaudio.com. We still don't have our website up, so I will work with you directly, answer your questions. If you want to purchase a kit, I will work with you directly, get you the information, get you set up with your payment, and then get you on the list to get your kit built. So our kits are normally build to order. So if you do want to get on the list for a kit, we'll work with you on that. Normally our lead time on kits are about 1 to 2 weeks. Sometimes it can run longer, just depending on product availability. So gives you a little bit of rundown on that, how that works. So again, any questions, drop us a comment, send us an email, and I'll get with you guys and get all your questions answered. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.